Welcome back, everybody, to Brown Bag Bets. Powered by BETSPERTS, we are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christenson, and joining me as always, getting himself a little revved up, getting his hat ready, Mr. Andy Molitor. Are you excited for a Thursday? We got a lot going on here. I know, a lot of you will lament the lack of football, but plenty to fill your bucket, if you will.
Yeah, I was taking off my sweatshirt and I hit the space bar and that started my Spotify. And all of a sudden there was tunes playing and it was a disastrous start to a show. So I thank you for grabbing the reins, which I mean you always do. You're the intro guy. You nail it every day. Earlier in the week when Matt was here, I just butchered it, buddy. It wasn't good. I don't know why I don't practice it. There's hundreds of episodes I could just sit and watch and practice the thing that you say at the beginning. But how'd the NBA go last night? I know the Hawks won. I know that the Cavs. Did you bet on the Cavs? The Cavs did not.
It was a
The
1-1
third
and
game.
one night. I haven't done
That's
one
what
of
I
those
thought. I
in
thought
quite
there
some
was talks
time.
of a push.
It was Hawks -2 covered, Cavaliers -3 did not, and the Mavericks -4, thanks to some late free throws, landed right on the number. So congratulations to anybody who got 3.5 on the Mavericks, if that was a thing. Then you went 2-1, but 1-1, pretty fine. And I had a fun parlay that I dumped in one of the chats. I had the Timberwolves
Oh,
to win the first quarter, Hawks to win the game.
that's why I
Nice
was
and
going to bring
easy.
that
So
up. That was a nice little same game parlay. I think people, and if you see the numbers for same game parlays, Jesus, they are making money off that. So the thing is, like these people that put like 10 legs together, there's no properly way to price, is this a good number or a bad number? Like when you have two things like with what you had that are negatively correlated, that they give you a big enough number on, I think it's a really good idea. And I liked what you did there with the, like you just said, the Timberwolves to win the first quarter outright but lose the game against the spread, I believe, even. So
yeah.
congrats to you. That was nice. That was almost 5-1, I think, on just a two-legger. Beautiful little bet there. And we'll be back at it. We're back at it today. We didn't even get a chance to touch on NBA from 2 days ago because we had such a long conversation with Fleeky yesterday. But your Timberwolves team total from 2 days ago got there, right?
It
I
did. It's been a
think
nice
that
little
was the
run
only
here.
way to win money on the Timberwolves besides the money line, I guess, if you want to lay that. But they didn't cover, but they hit their team total. So nice angle by you there.
I like the less stress-free bets. I mean, we're going to have a team total tonight. I just think in general, it's you take a lot of variance out of it. Yes, the other team does affect the points scored by the team you're betting on for the team total, but you are kind of just combining yourself to that one team and how they're going to kind of react, what type of shooting night they're going to have, who's going to be on the floor there. And a team like the Timberwolves, they're going to put up points every night. It's just whether or not a team like the Knicks, as we saw, is not able to keep up with them, but a lot of other teams are. So it's nice to kind of get rid of it and make things a little more simple. But speaking of simple, it's Thursday night. We have just 3 games on the NBA slate. They will be free to watch. I'll be bouncing back and forth between this and whatever tennis coverage we get a chance to watch. It's been a little funky on the apps, but don't worry, people. You got to go all the way past the NCAA and even the NCAA women's, but it's all there. Just got to hunt for it a little bit. But back to basketball, the Pacers. The game here in the late slot against the Warriors, struggling. Looks like they'll be without Sabonis here. I can't remember if this is the last game of the road trip or second to last game of the road trip, but they go against the Pacers team that is being adjusted for Draymond Green being out, as they should be. He's a tremendous defensive player. He's the favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year right now. He makes a big difference on that end of the floor, but when he is off the court, Golden State makes the proper adjustments, playing other guys more minutes, moving things around, slowing the pace down, going with some more conservative schemes defensively to adjust. And again, they're going against a Pacers team that's just been brutal all year. And happy to bet this team that, I've got right around 99 points. So 102.5 looks pretty good to me, going on the under there. The other 2 games, you've got the Pelicans and Knicks. That one looked pretty close. Some smart people in our chat are on the Knicks. I actually kind of like the Pelicans, so I'll pass on that. And then Suns, a short road favorite here against the Mavericks. Tough spot for the Mavericks, but it's one of those situations where I don't know if the 3 and 4 back-to-back thing is being looked at correctly, because all the games were at home, a lot of them against really poor teams. I think there's a chance that maybe that's not worth kind of the adjustment you're seeing there. Either way, the Suns have been great. They've been really consistent. So I wouldn't, hate the idea of putting the Suns down as a short favorite, but I'm not quite there yet. So just a Pacers team total under for me to start.
Probably parlay that with something. Not the team total, just play that straight up with the Suns play for there. And look at this. Power Trip Quotes is just nailing the chat with some plays today. I like that when the chat puts plays out there. It's fun when they hit Dan, because Dan will sometimes play those, like, because he's not, he's able to pay a little more attention sometimes than I am to the chat while I'm yakking away here. And I think he got himself an AFCON winner the other day with the live bet.
Yes.
I had a bit of a morning, just busy with other things, tired, honestly, a little groggy, a little logy. So I didn't get all my college basketball bets in. Now there is a game starting here in 25 minutes. North Florida, Florida State makeup COVID game, non-conference game with an ACC team that I'm not playing. If you want to play that, I'd enjoy yourself because it's an 11 a.m. basketball game, and God, you kind of almost have to bet those. In fact, after this, I might look and see if anyone I know who bets and models these has a line on that one. In about an hour, because I have a meeting after this, I'm going to put together the rest of my hoops card. I only put in 3 plays because I only got partway through and I was busy. And I said, you know what? I'd rather do something rather than nothing. I know I'm playing these 3. I'm going to pare down the rest of my card. I have about 30 games that I'm looking at. Not that many. I probably like 20. But I'm looking at, I have to pare that down and decide which ones I'm actually going to bet. But for now, I do have 3 plays. I put them in on the app. The first one being your Montana Bears? Just Bears. Grizzlies. Bears.
My
What
Montana?
at?
Our
Yeah,
Montana?
my
Someone else's
Montana
Montana?
Bears. I don't know who we're talking about.
You said yours, so I don't know.
I'm talking. It's in the Royal Yor. I'm talking to the audience in general, anyway. But I have Portland State a worse team than I guess the rankings do, than the Ken Palm numbers do. Like, they are very, 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 very low in my offensive rankings. Defense is okay, but they can't hit a 3-pointer. They don't actually attempt all that many 3-pointers. They turn the ball over quite a bit. And Montana's, a middle of the pack school whose maybe only downfall is some of the offensive rebounding. They don't turn the ball over. They make their free throws. It's like the opposite of what I say when I bet a dog. I would hate to bet. I love betting a dog when the favorite turns the ball over and can't make free throws. It's great for end of the game stuff. So Montana 3.5. You should be able to find that just about everywhere. I saw some people hanging 4, but the 3.5s were aplenty. Tulsa Golden Hurricanes from Tulsa, Oklahoma, of course. This is a +8. This team is for their conference. They have not won a conference game yet. They're not a bad team. They're just near the middle to the bottom of their conference, and that's why they're an 8-point dog here to Cincinnati. The thing is, they've played better teams than this, and they haven't lost a conference game by more than 5 points yet. All these games are close at the end. They're the kind of team that can hang with these teams. They're not that much worse than the top of this conference. Obviously, Memphis is a bit of a anomaly, just being how disappointing Memphis has been, but they lost to Memphis by 3. They lost to Temple by 5. They lost to Houston, who was a top 10 team, by just 2 points at home the other day. Granted, 3 out of those 4 losses were home games. This is an away game, but I have this closer to like 5.5. Tulsa getting over there is kind of that magic number of 6, 7. Like, hopefully teams aren't fouling when they're down by 6 with very short time left, like Canisius. But Tulsa getting the 8 here, I love quite a bit, in a nice spot for them. And then a total would be Weber State under 138. They take on Idaho State. Idaho State is actually the team that they just played. And if you want to look at this, they scored, what was it, 139 in that one. I don't have Idaho State scoring that much in this one. In fact, I don't have either team scoring that much in this one, but I do think this one is a little lower scoring. I don't know if there's an angle there as far as 2 teams that literally just played each other. We had a lot of this last year where, remember, like, was it Army? There was somebody who only played like 3 or 4 teams, they
Yeah,
just played like 4 teams 4 times each. It was something
yeah, one of
goofy
the smaller
like
conferences.
like that, but, we do run into this every so often, especially with the COVID years and the reschedules and stuff, so this is a this is a game that has already happened essentially in a different setting. It was a home game for Idaho State. Now they go to Weber State. I don't expect them to play very well. Their last 3 away games, they scored 43, 54, 40. If you want to go one further, they played Cal. They only scored 46. I have them modeled out into the 50s. So Weber State under 138 is a nice look for me. And we'll move on to tennis. It's fun. I paid attention a little last night.
It
Had
was
some
a good
decent
night to
matches.
watch.
The women's draw is clearing out. Muguruza out of there. Other players kind of starting to clear the way for some of the girls. It's interesting. Barty just is trucking.
She does. She has been playing really well. But as you mentioned, 3 names. Unfortunately, one of our outrights, Elena Rybakina, had to retire after losing the first set. Again, didn't seem like she was maybe 1,000% healthy. But the 2 big names that lost in normal play, Annette Kontaveit gets taken out by Clara Towson, and Garbina Muguruza, like you said, taken out by Alize Cornet. Starts to clear out the draw a little bit. As you start to look at the outrights now, Barty's still the favorite, right around 2-1. Simona Halep slides up into the 2 spot at 6-1, just ahead of Osaka. They're both right around 6-1, honestly. And then our girl, the Pole, Iga Swiatek, there at 7-1. Everybody else kind of falling around at the bottom. Sabalenka's actually dropped back a little bit despite having won a couple of matches. Very odd. The men's side, nothing. I was flipping through. I don't think we haven't had a big upset yet on the men's side. We're gonna have a pretty great third round. I was looking. There's a bunch of really good third round matches, but the men's side here is still pretty stable. Did you have any general thoughts on the brackets or stuff before we get into some picks?
Not really. It is like, Barty and Halep are playing very well, so that's tough. But I think we have some good value on Krejcikova still, and obviously the early number, which wasn't a very long number, but getting that number on Medvedev is looking pretty good. Although he did drop a set to local boy Nick Kyrgios. I
It was
think he's
polite.
still in pretty good shape. So I think we might just be heading for the collision course that we thought we might see. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be good. Again, it looks like it'll be Zverev there and Medvedev. The women's side, still some stuff to shake up. Let's jump into some picks. And I'm expecting maybe a little more fireworks here. I was looking at the matches, that are going to be on tonight. Again, it's been tough here on the women's side. You have just a lot of really big favorites, but Jessica Pegula, should she be minus 450 over Parisas Diaz? Probably not. But do I want to back Diaz at 3.5-1? Also no. I mean, Svitolina's been really tough. She's plus 240 against Azarenka. Curious to see what she can do. Our outright Krejcikova's minus 420 against Ostapenko, which is more right than it is wrong, but you can never feel safe going against Penko. Anything is possible. The Badosa Kostic match will be kind of fun. Madison Keys has been rolling, but maybe Wang Jian can catch her on a tough day. Zachary Kudermatova is another one I kind of passed on, but a couple big numbers here. And we'll start with Amanda Anisimova. She continues to play great tennis, carrying in the momentum from the end of this season, a little bit of world team tennis, her title run to start the season. She's just been fantastic. She is plus 250, and you can also get plus 4.5 games. I'm starting to see some plus fours. Plus four is okay. Maybe look for plus 1.5 sets too at like plus 115, plus 120 or better. But Anisimova here, I think, has a great shot not only to take a set off Naomi Osaka, but I think really beat her. Osaka is at her best, one of the best, if not the best hardcourt players on the WTA tour. She's been playing solid tennis, but against uninspiring competition and hasn't really looked lights out yet. It's hard to tell if she hasn't really reached in for her best tennis yet and is just kind of feeling her way through it. But I think this is a great spot for Anisimova, not only to pull the upset, but at the very least to keep it close. So grab the money line here at plus 250 and the spread at 4.5 games. And then some really big numbers there. Camilla Giorgi, one of the absolute hardest players to handicap, match to match here in the WTA because she doesn't play a ton of tennis, but from time to time, she kind of comes into the year, blows through a few weeks, has just, this top end ability and this aggressive style of play where when her serve is on some faster courts, she's really able to hit winners. She goes against Ashley Barty. Now, Barty's probably going to win the match. Although I don't know if Georgie should be an 8-1 underdog here. You're looking at a break-even probability of right around 11%. I think well more than 11% of the time, Georgie is able to find some peak tennis here to win the match and to win a set here. Plus 300. That's normally something I would expect to see just for the first set money line, let alone to win any set here. Again, Georgie can kind of get hot, and we've also seen Barty kind of feel the pressure, especially in Australia. Biff a couple games or two and drop a set. So Anna Samova, again, feel great about her. I think she's a good chance to win there. And then Georgie, again, it's a numbers play. I know Barty will probably win. I more than expect to wake up and see this at, kind of 6-1, 6-2, something like that for Barty. But there's a chance that Georgie finds some great tennis. Barty gets a little spooked, and we see an upset here.
I like a big ass dog like that. 8-1? Give me that. And the plus 1.5 sets for sure. Nothing feels worse than not having that safety net after it's 6-4 and she's up 5-2 in the second set and then loses the next 9 points. And you're sitting there
Power Trip. I don't know if Tsonga's still alive. I think he's still alive. I mean, he looked healthy last time we saw him. He's generally kind of a healthy looking guy these days, but I don't know if he's playing any tennis.
He's like 35 years old.
He shows up in France from time to time, collects some checks.
He'll play Montpellier. Montpellier? I can't say it very well. I'm not very good. We need food snob in here. One Aussie bet for me tonight. Just kind of a chalky favorite here. But the more I looked at this, I don't think Radu competes very well here. Kelly tried to warn me off this. Kelly tried to warn me off Opelka, though, to be fair. And he says Zverev always drops a set early. This is not the same Alexander Zverev that we've seen in years past. Like, he's matured a little. I think the 5-set curse or whatever you want to call it. You should listen to the most recent Freakonomics. They talk about curses and superstitions. Like, at a certain point, it was a trend, though. Like, hey, this guy struggles in best of 5, but he's played very well. He has a couple 3-0 wins, a couple very easy 3-0 wins. Radu is a qualifier. Maybe his best win in qualifying was Yao Sousa. He hasn't played anybody. He dropped a set to Nishioka, who is not playing well right now. That's not a good sign. And then he played some kid I've never heard of, Vukic. It's like I'm assuming maybe another qualifier or a wild card since he is from Australia. So Radu, not all that impressive. The 3-0 win here is priced around minus 330. So basically, we just need to have that happen. And you need one set to be a double break. You're just looking for a double break at some point here because you can go, even if you don't get the serves right, if the serves land in the wrong way and he wins 6-4, 6-4, that double break ends up, well, I guess it could end up in the wrong way. You could end up 6-4, 6-4, double break right at the end for 6-3, and that's a problem. But that would take some unique circumstances. So we're looking for and the tie break prices too. This is not going to be a tie break kind of match either. The price for no tie breaks is like minus 350. So looking for a 6-4, 6-3, 6-2 kind of look here, and Zverev Albert under 28.5 minus 15.
I like it. I like that look a lot. And the 6-4, 6-4, 6-3 is kind of something you worry about. But you look at some of these matches, I mean, those third sets, it's kind of things I like in some of these men's matches. I was picking those off live last night. If you have somebody come out and win the first 2 sets pretty convincingly, that third set is generally very quick, especially if it's an underdog. So it could even be like a 7-5, 6-3, 6-1 kind of thing. I mean, Radu gives him a tough set, gets put away in the second, and just kind of packs it up and goes home.
Yeah, that's where I'm hoping if you haven't got your double break by then, I'm not terribly worried because you do see some of those less than effortful. The only worry would be he's playing in front of a home crowd. Excuse me, no, I'm on a different match altogether. I'm still thinking of this Australian guy. I don't know if he'll have any support. I'm thinking that maybe the crowd won't be supporting Alexander though. I don't know if they like him there. I keep getting Millman in my head for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a little while since we've seen him.
Yeah, Radu Albert.
People are playing good tennis.
Radu Albert, not Australian. He's definitely
Radu Albert,
Moldovan.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look that up. I swear he's Moldovan.
Maybe Romanian or something.
We're gonna look this?
One of those Eastern European
Moldova,
countries.
Macedonia. It starts with an M. Either way,
Moldova.
it's from Eastern Europe. Moldovan. Thank you, Dan. I'm just waiting for the chat to populate the name of a country. All right. Well, just some tennis and basketball today. We don't have football yet. I talked a little bit last night on the deep dive of some picks I'm going with this weekend. If you want to catch that, something I am seeing, and obviously with our new sponsor PropSwap, I'm going to mention this. I'm not real good at like scripted ad reads, so I'm not going to do that. Just I'm gonna ad lib those anyway. Halfway, I get halfway through it, so I'm going to mention something, and this is something Brian over on BETSPERTS has put together a couple blurbs about. You can't do this unlimited, but with this deposit match, if you're looking at placing a future on, one of these football teams to win the championship, you can essentially double the odds. I think that's where you take advantage of something like this. Like the Packers are like 3-1 to win the Super Bowl. You go find a ticket on the PropSwap that's like 3.5 to 1. But if it's $100 ticket, you just deposit $50, you get $50 for free. Essentially, you're betting 50 to win. So you turn a 3-1 ticket into a 6-1 ticket. I think that's how you take advantage of this promo offer. And like I said, you can deposit up to $500, get that $500 deposit match using promo code BETSPERTS. It's just that easy. And if you send us a screenshot of that deposit, I'll send you a free hat. I'll send you a link to a free hat. You just have to go to the store and put in your information.
Free hat.
And I've mentioned this before because we had so much trouble with the I almost said blockchain, the distribution chain, getting people sweatshirts. Under Armour was a pain in the butt for this, and it wasn't even their fault. It was distribution of the world was in a rough spot. But right now, I will just send you a code to the store. You go to store.betsperts.com, you pick out your hat, enter your shipping address, and they'll just mail you one. It takes a few days. So if you do sign up, make sure to take advantage of that. If it's cold, there's a beanie. If you live somewhere warm, there's a trucker hat. A couple options for you there. And with that, we'll send you to the weekend tomorrow. We'll see you guys.